Hi, and welcome back to Step 4 of How to Teach Your Kid to Read Without Stress or Tears in 5 Easy Steps. Step 4 is learning to read sight words quickly. I just grabbed these images from the internet, but they are just so popular in classrooms. Schools will send home sight word lists for preschoolers, for kindergarten students, first grade students, and I want you to think about what we learned in Step 3 of this training. What do you notice about these words? Like the word blue, the word the word down. In order to read the word down, you would have had to explicitly teach a student that when they see an OW, it makes the ow sound. If we don't teach them that, they're going to say d, aw, w, n. We have to be teaching more sounds and more letter combinations so that students can actually apply those skills when they see them in words. When we teach them, hey, all you need is A through Z, and then now you can read, and they start to struggle, they very quickly learn that this isn't working. And that's when we have kids that start cheating, start looking at the picture and guessing, or just default to trying to memorize as many words as possible because the skills that we gave them are failing them. And it's not because they're not smart, it's because we didn't actually teach them what they needed to know. In my reading program, I have sorted the sight words by the sounds that I know that the students know. For example, for the short A week, this is a slide from my teaching lessons. For the short A week, their words are going to be short A words like an, am, ask, at. That way you're not giving them words that they don't know and there's no way they could read them, making you feel like you're failing as a teacher and making them feel like they're failing as readers. For the short A week, there's get, read, yes, 10, short E words. Now you're probably wondering, why is the word said there? It's because the short E sound is in that word, and I'll show you how to teach that word in just a couple of minutes. So when it comes to reading words quickly and trying to get students to remember what these words say or permanently store them in their brains, we have to activate a process called orthographic mapping. And all that really means is practicing a word, matching the symbols, the letters, to the sounds so many times that their brain just remembers it and a connection is made. What you're going to do is use a couple of boxes like this. So let's say the word was yes. First thing you're going to do is say the word and have your child repeat the word, yes. Then you're going to have them break the sounds apart. If you think back to step 2, if you have been practicing manipulating sounds, isolating sounds, breaking sounds apart, putting sounds back together, this is going to get easier and easier over time. So yes, that's going to be y, s. Then you're going to match the letters to those sounds. So we have y. Then we need eh. Then we need s. What's the word? Yes. When you do this a couple of times, this activates a process in the brain that's going to start causing the brain to permanently store that word in memory. So any words that your child is having a lot of trouble with, start practicing this. Some students only need a few repetitions, while unfortunately others might need hundreds of repetitions. That's again why consistency is key. You can pick a few words each week that your child seems to be having trouble with and just practice mapping it out. You can show them how to do it. You can have them write and do it. Make it fun, keep it short, be consistent. Now on to the word said. Same process. Say the sounds, s, d. Put down the letters, s, This is where you again are going to have to teach. You tell your child, that's really tricky. AI doesn't usually make the sound from what we know so far. It usually says A, or maybe you haven't even learned it yet. So you would just tell them, that is a tricky part that we're just going to have to remember. So keep going. So s, d. And then you can put a heart over the tricky part and you call attention to it. Talk about why it's tricky and remind your reader how to read that word. Sed. When you point out that tricky part, it's going to stay with them. They're going to remember it. Never fails year after year, whether my students have been in kindergarten, first or second grade, when I point out those tricky words, and there's honestly only 4% of words in the English language are truly irregular, you are going to be able to point it out and they're going to remember it. And they would love to say, oh, you're not going to trick me, or that didn't trick me, or oh, wait, I remember that word. That one is said and it has that tricky part in it. It's going to help them remember how to read it. It's also going to help them remember how to spell it. They're going to want to put an E and they're going to remember, wait, this is the one that's tricky. What are those letters again? And if you've practiced enough, they're going to remember to put that AI. Now, let's say you're doing a word like chip. Something very important to remember with practicing words in boxes like this is that every box gets a sound. Every box doesn't just get a letter. Every box gets a sound. So if you were doing the word chip, that's ch, I, p. But we know that ch is made by 2 letters. Doesn't matter because it's one sound. So that's going to be ch, I, p. It seems so simple, and it really is simple, but it's the simple stuff like this that has been researched and shown to make really deep connections in the brain, grow that area of the brain, the letter box that's responsible for letters and sounds, and help our children learn how to read. In my membership, I have a week that is just devoted to whatever the phonics element is that the kids need to learn. And then there are teaching slides for you to introduce the sound, practice writing it. There's spelling words involved so they can practice spelling with it. And then, like I said, the high frequency words, which are also the sight words. High frequency just meaning they come up frequently in students' reading. And there's areas for them to practice matching the sounds to symbols so they can start to really remember those words. Take a look at this list here. So there's something called Fry's First 100 Sight Words. You could also Google the Dolch sight word list. Schools usually use one of the 2 of these. These are the first 100 words that they'll tell kids they have to learn or memorize by the end of the school year. Again, even though the first few words are, 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters, they're not necessarily the easiest words. The first word, the, has the digraph TH and an E, but the E is making a schwa sound, which means it's making an sound. Of, you have an O making an sound and an F making a V sound. That is where you would put it in those boxes and put a heart over both of those letter sounds and just tell them this is just 2 parts you have to remember. But many of those could be read if they were introduced at a later time after you actually taught students those skills. And in my reading membership, I teach students those skills and I make it easy for you to teach students those skills with those lessons. You can see a quick glimpse of the membership here where I have it broken down by each week, and each week comes with a full slideshow. It comes with printable activities and games. It even comes with an assessment to give them at the end of the week, not to test them and make it be this negative thing, but just to see what they know and see if you need to repeat the week again, give them more practice, or if you can successfully move on to the next week. My membership can be found at bit.ly/phonics time. And if you keep watching to the next video, I have a huge discount code for you for your first month in the membership, just for watching this training and wanting to help your kid. It is a parent's dream come true. It gives you everything that you need. It simplifies everything and it makes learning fun, and it's highly effective. Thank you for joining me for step 4. We have one more step, which is going to be step 5 in the next video.